This Pro Football Hall of Fame game picks edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast is brought to you by Underdog. Get up to a $1,000 deposit match when you sign up at UnderdogFantasy.com. Promo code SGPN.
This is Nate Collins. You're listening to SGPN. Let it ride.
Fucking shine box.
Welcome everyone to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, stacking the money green with my partner of picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer?
Well, Sean.
Look what we have here.
Well.
Ryan, I'm not supposed to touch the button. I'm not supposed to touch the button. I'm not supposed to touch this button. Oh, hey, that is the National Football League music. The NFL is back. I know it's a Hall of Fame game, but it still counts. We got lines. We got live NFL action. Hopefully they're not going to mess it up by painting the field. Football.
Power through.
Football, baby. Inject it into my veins. I'll say the official football song.
Yeah, it's not
week one happens, but little taste.
Still July.
Get you ready. Well, I wake up with a spring in my step, Ryan. I'm listening to practice camp podcasts. Yeah. The Eagles, they have like a daily podcast and then a podcast recapping the training camp episode or like the day.
I'm sure they have a live stream too. What I find interesting about these things that cover training camp is they're trying to. It's like someone told all of them at the same time. All right, promote a live stream on YouTube and then also have a podcast and then you have the people putting out, which I kind of like this. The beat reporters who are doing the short form camp notes videos. Shout out to anyone doing that because it's very easy for me to digest everything I need.
No, it's great. And shout out to our sponsor, Underdog. They do. If you don't want to dig through all the aggregators, I think Underdog does a pretty good job of just recycling whatever the biggest camp news is. And if you just follow the NFL Underdog feed, I think you're in a pretty good spot. So I use them. It's just great. You just wake up, you're refreshing.
I will say,
feeds.
You want to talk about a reason the West Coast is better, like unrelated to games.
Okay.
I'm getting older. I wake up. I'm probably awake most days. Safe bet I'm awake between 6:30 and 7.
Oh my God. It's crazy.
Regardless, I'm up. And the fact that most practices on the East Coast have already happened. I'm reading. Yeah. I'm able to drink my morning coffee or whatever I'm doing and just digest. Which, by the way, if someone was smart, they would just almost like a transcription reading service where you're just reading camp notes. Like get AI to look at 2 beat reporters for each team and just read me the camp notes.
Yeah.
You're always solve that.
you're always pushing for your artificial intelligence, Ryan.
Well, that's a good use for them.
Yeah, to put the machines to work. And we got a fun show. It's a celebration of the Hall of Fame, the NFL being back. If you've never been to the Hall of Fame, it's an awesome experience. I think we've been twice, Ryan, when we were going to the Fantasy Expo back in the day.
Yep.
It's walking around, you almost get chills seeing like all the cool. It's like a museum, but for football, like stuff you care about.
I'd say it is a museum.
And then they have who does the there's like that fun 3D video.
Yeah, do all the
virtual
fun rides.
reality.
They have one that you're sitting in a locker room where Joe Namath and a number of other Hall of Famers take you through. I mean, it's classic.
It's like a
NFL
virtual reality
films
NFL.
where, regardless of what you think, you're gonna sit in there and you're gonna be like, God damn, football's awesome.
Yeah. And then just walking around, checking out the different exhibits. They rotate the exhibits, which is cool. So if you've ever been before, go back because they're gonna have different stuff there, and they've turned it into this whole.
I was gonna say
campus.
If you've not been in the past 5, like if you've not been since the pandemic, they've essentially built up a tremendous amount of infrastructure. I mean, including the stadium, but there's a tremendous amount of infrastructure now in the area. At least last time we were there, and yeah, no, I mean, if you like football. No different than other sports Hall of Fames. It's pretty cool. And the room with all the busts, it's both creepy and amazing to see how large some of their heads were.
It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool to walk around.
You can imagine which ones
of your favorite players.
Imagine which ones were going to be real gladiators back in the day, just based on head size. It's someone with a big head. You see some of these offensive linemen. My God. They've never worn a fitted hat in their life.
No way they're fitting on a hat. Ryan, before we and we're going to be bringing on Easy in a little bit, Detroit Lions insider. Obviously, we're going to talk side, total, little props. Underdog has quote unquote fantasy projections available for the game because
I'm a degenerate.
And I was doing some deep dive on some preseason stuff. Before we hop into the cap for this game, we are in the middle of 32 NFL team previews. We got the phrase that pays cooking. What has been what's been your most interesting episode that you've surprised yourself on your take of a team so far?
So unrelated to the word from the phrase that pays. This isn't my favorite episode based on the word.
Yeah.
I would say the most surprise. I would make sure that you listen to the Jags episode. That would just be what I would say. I'd also encourage everyone. It drops on the podcast feed if you're listening tomorrow, Thursday morning. If you're on the YouTube channel, it's already there. But the Cowboys episode also definitely probably worthwhile. And then the last one I'll throw, and maybe I'm a little recency bias, but
that is a disgusting act.
Olan's performance, and I already saw
in the Bears episode.
I already saw Dick Puncher dropping clips on social coming back at him, but Olan's performance was quite good.
Really,
I'd say quite good. Well, here's the thing with a guy like Olan. He is just close enough to the edge where I don't know if I want to give him a handshake in person. You know what I mean? But that makes for great content.
He reminds me of
like the handshake will be like a roller coaster. I'll be a little nervous going into the first in-person meeting.
Olan's appearance was great because it's he's just like a shooter. It comes off the bench, chucked up a bunch of threes, and that was perfect.
J.R. Smith.
Yeah, J.R. Smith. Volume shooter.
He drives a tank.
No lack of confidence. That one was very fun. I think our Jets
like Olan's the guy.
Was pretty fun.
You probably can't if you're crashing drunk, you probably don't want to fall asleep around Olan.
Oh,
you know
really?
what I mean? Yeah, he's that kind of.
He's the guy at the sleepover at the frat party. Yeah.
Just got to be careful. You might end up with a guy naked doing meatloaf karaoke. So.
All right, let's see. Do we want to? Let's talk about the game, and then we'll bring.
What was your favorite team preview?
I don't know. That's man.
I did name 3 good ones.
The Giants was pretty fun with Terrell and Steph.
Yeah, and
they did a great job. Steph also not seen an episode of The Sopranos, considering she's Italian. Well, that to me was the craziest moment so far in the team previews.
2 great revelations this week that include fringe famous Italian American people not seeing an episode of Sopranos. Steph, and then producer of Pardon My Take, Max.
Really?
Never seen an episode of Sopranos. I couldn't believe it. Both of them.
I guess
shame on you.
I guess they're slightly younger than
Gabagool.
But come on.
But I can tell. I know there's my high school age daughter is interested in watching, is aware of Sopranos, has already watched Shameless. It would strike me as odd that you would just, unless you're just into reality smut. Sorry, Steph.
All right, let's get into it. Before we do, of course, shout out to mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN. Head over there. They got the line for the Hall of Fame game right now at Chargers catching 2.5, plus 114 on the money line. Total sitting at 33. I'm already on the I'm already on the over there at 32.5, but we'll break down why in just a second. Of course, great place for your NFL futures, the cash out to MyBookie Casino if you're a DGen, and you get the 100% match up to $1,000. Terms and conditions do apply on that rollover bonus. So read the fine print. MyBookie.ag, promo code SGPN, and you get the fast deposit and easy withdrawal with that sweet cryptocurrency. MyBookie.ag, promo code SGPN, and we're also brought to you by Rhythm. The Rhythm is gonna bet you with props. That's right. Prop, sides, total, they got it all. And of course you can build your own model for the NFL, college football. It's a great time, a great tool. Hey, you should be watching the games, coming up with your own angles, but it's also great to have the data. Trust the data. It really is helpful. Cannot wait till I fire up my NFL model and get started today. Start playing around. 7-day free trial. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. Ryan, if you remember last episode, Rhythm's favorite play was the Chicago White Sox catching a run and a half against the Phillies. They won outright 9-3. So great angle by you, Rhythm, and the winners left and right. 7-day free trial today. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. All right, Kramer, let's talk about the game, and we'll bring on our buddy Easy. You know him, you love him. He's in the Discord. We've had him on. He's our official Lions insider.
Pre-game show.
Did very well. Very well. Capper, just a solid capper all around. Lions super fan. Easy. What's happening, Easy?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
And yes, we will be also having Easy on for the Lions team preview. And we were hanging out in Discord. Great reason to hop into the Discord, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord. We're almost up to 10,000, and there's a ton of other sharp people besides the just run of the mill degens and degenerate activity happening there. It's great for guys like Easy, who chatted up in the NFL channel, and Easy was DMing me a bunch of great angles for the preseason game. And I said, hey, let's get you on, because the angle in general for winning in the preseason is, hey, which coaches care about the preseason, what coaches don't. And then especially with these playing time, find a little angle with the playing time, the players, and obviously getting in on some of the props. Underdog has a bunch of fantasy projections, promo code SGPN, but Easy, let's start with you. The line is set at 2.5, total set at 33. If you have thoughts on the side or total, you're mostly looking at some of these props. Where are you at with this Lions Chargers preseason game?
Yeah, I'm mainly looking at props. I don't typically bet a lot of lines in preseason just because it's essentially in practice, in my opinion.
Yes.
I stopped worrying about preseason when the Lions went undefeated in preseason and then 0-16 in 2008. So since
that
then,
was unfortunate.
This doesn't really matter anymore. I do like the over just because I think this is, especially us. I think we absolutely will score.
Yeah.
We have too many guys that are fighting for the last spots on this 53-man roster. And I think it's kind of the same situation for the Chargers too, where they have a lot of guys that are fighting. I mean, every team does, but specifically on the offense is fighting for these last few spots.
Well, let's
offense.
Yeah, let's hop in there, because Kramer, you and I, it used to be the free square. Just take the under in the Hall of Fame game, but
no longer the free square.
It feels like the market has caught up to it. So if we look at the past totals of these games, 38, 37, 38, 19, 24, but then 33, 38. I'm with you. I'm on the over. And we look at the quarterbacks. Harbaugh said Trey Lance is going to be playing into the third quarter. Hendon Hooker is going to be playing a big chunk of time. And Trey Lance, he throws the ball a ton. He runs it a ton. He's coming off a crazy ass game. But Hendon Hooker, if you remember last Trey Lance preseason game was for Dallas last year, where he threw 5 interceptions, but he still threw for 323 passing yards, 11 carries, 90 yards. It's backyard football. I don't think he's going to hesitate. Now, I know they're probably going to try and call some runs, but Trey Lance is going to drop back there. He doesn't know how to read a defense, and he's going to He's going to be running around with his legs, which I think is conducive to some scoring. The 32.5, the 33, I think is too low. So I am on the over. Kramer, what's your take on the total?
I mean, I'm taking the under before I'm taking the over. But to your point, and the availability of props makes me much more likely to just go bet yardage overs versus points, especially with a guy like Trey Lance, where I mean, you're hearing that he's going to play at least half a game.
Harbaugh officially said into the third quarter,
so. Which means at least half, and his over on underdog 27.5 rushing yards, which feels low. 116.5 passing yards, which also seems on the low end.
Yeah,
because there is an element. No matter what Easy says, he's a fan. It does. Like if I'm analyzing coaches in the preseason, I know the Hall of Fame game's a little different, but if I'm analyzing coaches in the preseason, I think Dan Campbell cares less than Harbaugh. I also think here's a weird handicap. We know that Harbaugh is a guy that we recently found out. I mean, we thought that it was only kickers that Harbaugh slept over with, but we recently found out that he slept on Nico Collins's floor. This guy's passionate about football. And we know the upbringing. We know the crazy shit that his father bestowed on him. You don't think he's going to have an extra impassioned speech, being that they're playing in the hallowed grounds of Canton with all these ghosts right over here watching? I absolutely think that from a motivational standpoint, So Trey Lance is the ultimate 4A quarterback. He is good enough to light up a preseason game because you don't have to read shit. No one does coverage. No. You sit back and you just kind of play. And so to your point, yards and rushing yards and passing yards.
I'm fine with both those.
I don't think I'm taking the points over though.
I'm on the over. I also now I'm sure we'll get Easy's take on it, but Hendon Hooker, his rush yards are set at 18.5. I'm going to be on the over on that as well. And I put it together with the Trey Lance rush yards at 27.5. And I see DJ and Dan in the chats reminding us that they called it early last year, which created a ton of weird situations for the book, because I think, Brian, we were on the under, but then it got voided because they didn't
play 55
minutes. So, which also created some weird situation for the props. So hopefully they finish this game. They are calling for thunderstorms. How they cannot figure this out, I have no idea. But Easy, where are you at with some of the props? What do you like there?
Yeah, so I have one for both quarterbacks. I guess I'll start with Trey Lance since y'all were there first. Sean, you did hint on it. He threw 5 interceptions last year for the Cowboys. So Trey Lance higher, 0.5 interceptions.
Yeah, I mean that's a smash too.
Specifically, I think Ian Kennelly is going to be the one that gets the interception. You can't bet on that anywhere I've found because that would be
back.
That'd be too much fun. But Ian Kennelly is an undrafted free agent out of Grand Valley State. The only reason we signed him was because he was at some like media day practice thing and just went absolutely nuts. Our coaches fell in love with him and we signed him that day. Now during training camp, he has been an absolute ball hawk during camp too. He has an interception on Jared Goff. He's shown how high of a football IQ he has. And he's actually has a chance now to beat out Maurice Norris on the roster. So I think he actually intercepts Trey Lance, maybe DJU, because I think he's going to get into if the Storms let him play. But specifically, I think Trey Lance throws an interception. And then, Sean, I'm with you on the Hendon Hooker rushing yards. I think that's kind of his strength on the other side of Kyle Allen to beat him out for QB2. And he's going to have to show, hey, I can throw like Kyle Allen does, but I can also run, so I should be QB2. And he shows that off throughout the preseason starting tomorrow.
Yeah, no, it does sound like Hendon Hooker and then DJU, right? Is that what we're expect? Oh no, so sorry, Trey Lance, and then DJU, and then Kyle Allen after Hendon Hooker. And Hendon Hooker, you look at his preseason last year, 29 of 44, 300 passing yards, 138 rushing yards, 2 total touchdowns, 1 interception. But that was spread out over a couple games. I still like the over rushing yards. I'm going to be on that. I also like the Trey Lance higher interception. I mean, that is Underdog has that as plus money, so that's pretty fun. Do you have any of the other guys farther down the roster that maybe you expect to get some work? I know you had some thoughts on some receiving yards you thought were a little low. What else you cooking on over there, Easy?
Yeah, I have two others that I like. I wanted to find some kind of action on Jacoby Keeney James, one of our receivers, but he seems like he's too low on the depth chart to actually get odds, which is a bitch because I really liked him to score a touchdown. So instead I moved to Dominic Lovett, higher 20.5 receiving yards.
Okay.
He's another guy that, obviously we picked him up late in the draft, but it seemed like he was just kind of going to be a special teams guy when we drafted him with really no expectations of playing in the offense. And then he was another guy that came into training camp and just lit it up, showing off his speed. And now they're expecting him to actually potentially have a role in the offense. So I think he's going to be a guy that they absolutely try to get into the groove of things tomorrow. And 20.5 receiving yards just seems way too low.
Yeah. I'll trust your insider Lions knowledge on that.
Amarian Hampton playing.
Yeah, that was next on my list. Amarian Hampton is listed at 16.5 yards, but man, this is tough because do you think they put him in for a drive? How long do you think Harbaugh plays Amarian Hampton? I mean, again, he seems excited to play in these preseason games. All it would take is for him to bust out one run and he's gone. But the counter is, hey, they're already thin at running back. They want Amarian Hampton to be the workhorse. I don't think they're going to give him a ton of, so maybe there's value on the under there at 16.5.
I would probably just stay. I mean, I think the more interesting angle is to figure out, is it Vikai or Vakai? Is it Vidal? Who's getting the volume? Because it does seem like, I don't know. If you watch, or at least reading the reaction of the Chargers beat, they don't seem to think Hampton's going to play much. And it could be as simple as like he gets the artificial start, gets a carry, gets a hit because Harbaugh wants to feel a hit.
Yeah.
And then that's that. So yeah, I don't think you can play his. I don't think
Trey Harris, Keandre Lambert Smith, and Darius Davis are all playing according to Harbaugh. So you're being
a little sneaky though.
You're probably playing with fire, but I do think there might be value there in the under 16.5 because we thought that previously where sometimes who was the running back that everyone it was Josh Jacobs, where everyone was like, oh, they gave Josh Jacobs all this workload.
That was weird.
And you expected him to trade him or whatever, and then he ended up having a great season. So they really threw everyone off the scent there. Is there, Kramer? What about you? Is there anything you're jumping out of?
Well, certainly the more interesting tier of player is like the Brendan Rice tier, where he's getting they're dangling a 15.5 yards for him. On the Lions side, a similar level would be like a Malik Taylor, and I don't know. I think you're spot on with your quarterback rushing yard overs. Trey Lance preseason last year 8 carries a game. Hendon Hooker 6.3 carries a game. So that's spot on. My concern with the passing yard props, I can't trust. As bad as the defenses or as easy as the defenses might play, I still give me the interception prop before give me the yardage. I guess would be
for what for Trey Lance
quarterbacks in general. Both quarterbacks.
I mean Trey Lance especially 5 interceptions. That was no accident.
So I think
that's one of my favorites.
So we'll go quarterback rushing yards. We're also going to go. I mean, I'm surprised you didn't bring it up already, but do you think the teams mess around when they do score a touchdown, or are we taking the extra points?
I was thinking of taking the higher extra points.
Isn't that better than taking the over? Game?
But to your point, it's tough to trust extra points in a preseason first. If I was a coach, I wouldn't practice extra points. I don't think
so. Then just go for 2.
I would,
so
but
then,
I'm not an NFL coach. It does seem like they like to practice. Do you have any angles on that? Easy, the extra point.
I think we'll kick the extra points because I think Jake Bates needs to practice. In the last couple of days at camp, he's been wide left like 3 days in a row between 40 and 50 yards. Of course, then he goes out there and he drills a 60-yarder down the middle. So I don't know what's going on with him, but he's had like 2 and 3 bad misses each last few days of practice. So I think they're going to get him as much work as they can in this game tomorrow.
Now, last year's game, 21-17, and Fairbairn for the Texans, 2 of 2 extra points, and then Cairo Santos 3 of 3 extra points. So 38 points, but both easily got over the 1.5 there. So I think that there's probably something to that as maybe a better way to play. Like if you go to underdog and you just take the higher 1.5 extra points on both sides versus taking the over in the game. I'm still sticking with the over. And
exactly. Like what's the likelihood the game goes over and
both
teams go under?
I think it's pretty rare, and you're getting the plus price on both those kickers to hit the. You know what? I'm gonna fire on that. Add that to my sheet, Ryan.
Okay.
And the side itself, I will take the Los Angeles Chargers getting the 2.5 points, and I'm taking the 2.5 because I do think these games get weird. If it's a 21-20, 19-20, 21, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I would not be surprised. And Harbaugh, it's weird. Harbaugh hasn't had a great record in preseason in the first game of the preseason, but overall he's 10-6 straight up. Dan Campbell's played 10 preseason games. He's only won 3 of them. So for him to be a favorite, I just don't think makes a ton of sense here. So, I do think there's a little value there in Harbaugh with the 2.5 points. Easy. You said you're staying away from the side. So you're not tempted to take the Lions laying 2.5 or 1.5, depending on where you're finding it.
No, I kind of agree with you. Actually, I think Harbaugh would be more of a preseason guy that is going in there. He's like, we need to win this game for absolutely no reason.
Yeah.
Whereas
come on.
Dan Campbell's going to look at this game as this is a chance for me to get my guys ready. And that's all he cares about.
I mean, they are 2 ultimate football guys. I think instead of a coin toss, we just should have Harbaugh versus Campbell do the Oklahoma drill out there. Now, obviously, that would certainly favor
Harbaugh's a little older. Jesus.
Well, that certainly would favor Dan Campbell. No, Harbaugh wears cleats everywhere. Right?
He's an old guy. He doesn't want to slip. It's just like a guy who wears those rubber socks in the shower, Sean. That doesn't mean he's more athletic.
All right. Hey, friendly reminder, come hang out with us at the Circa Las Vegas, Circa Millions. Sign up for it. Circa Millions, Circa Survivor, Circa Grand Decimo, 22.5 million in prizes up for grabs. And Circa, just an amazing sports book. If you have not been to Circa Las Vegas, you gotta take a pilgrimage to Becca. If you're a sports gambler,
yes,
and you consider yourself a DGen and you have not been to Circa Las Vegas, Crimer, everyone's probably like,
you're not about it.
You're just saying that because they hook you guys up, blah blah blah. Yep. I said this before they were ever a sponsor. When Derek was giving us a tour randomly 5 years ago during COVID, we're like, this place is awesome, and Derek didn't know us from anyone at the time, and. Derek was getting a tour from Derek of Circa before it's finished during COVID, where you're supposed to wear a mask, and then Derek's pulling down his mask and just burning heaters and talking about how
you had to wear.
You can see the screens from the craps table. It's just awesome. I don't know what else to say. You guys got to come out and hang out with us August 21st through the 23rd. Great weekend to come out, but you can sign up anytime between now and when the season starts. And we got a sweet deal with the proxy, $50 off, footballcontest.com. You do need a proxy so they can submit your picks.
Trust me, you want one.
Yeah. Even if you live in Nevada and you can actually place the picks yourself, you'll want a proxy because you'll have a couple cocktails. You forget about sending in your survivor pick. There was a guy, Ryan, remember last year that was
I mean, we were tracking it every pregame show, but there was
like 8 entries left. So like the estimated value was like hundreds of thousands, and he forgot to put it in a pick. It was horrible. So that's why you get a proxy. Footballcontest.com, promo code SGP, get your $50 off the proxy fee. And of course, we're talking about it. Underdog Fantasy, get in on this preseason action. Toss us a bone. Use the promo code SGPN, underdogfantasy.com, promo code SGPN. Easy. You got to come out to Vegas, man. How often do you make it out to Vegas?
I've actually never been to Vegas.
Come on.
That's
Easy.
Unacceptable.
What are you doing? Come out, hang out, contest weekend.
Yeah, we'll have to. Maybe this is like a Noah situation.
Well,
we'll get him a permission slip, a note,
and again,
maybe a chaperone even.
I never want to hype it up, but if you come out and we're hanging out and Derek meets you, a fellow Lions fan, he's gonna be loving that. So highly recommend coming out, hanging out. Any other Kramer? Do you have any other plays for the Hall of Fame game?
So I was like most psychos. I was just kicking around a DK lineup in DFS, and so I was doing a little bit. Unfortunately, all the fun guys, I'm not seeing good prop numbers yet, but like you have to like Lambert Smith, which we briefly mentioned earlier, Gadsden. You like these guys are gonna have like I don't know if you've never played preseason DFS. Everyone has the same price.
Yeah,
and so you're basically playing defenses, quarterbacks, and like you're trying to find that contrarian bullet. Did you mention Lovett earlier, Easy?
Yeah. So he's one of the two I really like for our receivers.
And so, all of those guys are fun, but unfortunately they don't have numbers yet. So, but as far as someone that does have a number outside of the quarterbacks that
for
I would
DFS,
say, for DFS, both on DraftKings, but also Underdog Pick'em.
Oh yeah.
I do think Vikai at 26.5 rushing yards. He averaged almost 6 yards a carry in the preseason last year. So he doesn't need a ton of carries here. And it does, if you read the tea leaves or you have AI read the tea leaves for you, he's at least going to be in the mix, assuming he's healthy. He did get banged up in practice the other day, but I think the smash play is just play both quarterbacks that are starting rushing yards over, like you said.
I'm in
together, separate together. And then I think we haven't really talked about the side, but Harbaugh smash
it with Harbaugh,
smash.
And then I do like on Underdog, or if your place allows it, to do the higher 1.5 extra points made, both sides. That is $50 pays out 118 on that. That's a little more fun way to juice up the over. And then what else do I got? Oh yeah, the rushing yards, and then the I also took the Trey Lance higher interception. I like Easy's cap on that, and I mean, what's not to like? He threw 5 in the last preseason game. I think they're just gonna let him figure it out, and I don't know if he's figured it out since the last time he played a preseason game, and now. So we'll see. Easy, looking forward to having you on for the Lions team preview. Any storylines you're following for the Lions right now? Any little nuggets you want to toss out as a little preview for the team preview?
The main one is I have a whole lot to say about our coordinators and coaching staff in general.
Well, that is the big storyline, right? Losing Ben Johnson, losing Aaron Glenn. As someone who went through that as an Eagles fan, that was a tough year post Super Bowl. But it seems like you might be a little excited about what they're doing coordinator wise.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, all I've heard all offseason is how this year is going to be a disaster because we have new coordinators coming in, and that's never good. Well, Sean, wasn't there a team last year that had new coordinators and won a Super Bowl?
There was. Yes, that's a great example.
So, but also aside from the coordinators, we have a lot of coaches under them too that I'm also really excited about. So it kind of goes all the way down in the coaching room, and I've kept an eye on that. Also, another one that I'm just personally looking at is if Zach Horton makes the team. He's a JMU guy. Obviously, I'm a JMU fan, So having a JMU guy go to the Lions is crazy, but also he's basically the only true fullback left coming out of college. And I think our offense with a true fullback having potential to change schemes up would be just crazy going against for other defenses.
I mean, it does seem like either because I mean, it's not like the assistants in Detroit were getting showered with love the entire time. I mean, especially with Aaron Glenn. So perhaps
well, Ben Johnson was getting pretty glazed by the media.
Yeah, but this is the second time Jared Goff has enabled someone to be like Dreamboat OC because he's doing it with Jared Goff. And so I guess we'll find out if he can do it with Caleb Williams. Then yeah, maybe he's really good. I tend to think that Dan Campbell has built culture, so you have to give them a little bit of the benefit of the doubt. And I know nothing about the offensive coordinator. And so,
yeah, looking forward to diving in a little bit, seeing where I land on the Detroit Lions. But you mentioned a fullback, Horton. Do we? I mean, I could already be licking my chops. Horton first touchdown because these fullbacks getting in the end zone, and Jared Goff isn't a QB sneak guy, so you already have to get a little interesting there.
He is he's a big time launch. He might be top of the lawn share rankings right now.
Last Lions question for you, easy. And we'll save the rest for the preview. David Montgomery, Jahmyr Gibbs. Is David Montgomery going to continue to eat into the touchdown work of Jahmyr Gibbs? Like we were just on a draft where someone drafted Jahmyr Gibbs 3rd overall. Where are you at fantasy wise, touchdown wise, prop betting wise on the split between Gibbs and Montgomery?
I think Gibbs takes a huge jump this year for really multiple reasons. For one, he's actually getting first team reps now above David Montgomery, which is the first time that's happened. So he is kind of the being looked at first guy over Montgomery. On top of that, we're apparently going to be running some plays where they're both in the backfield.
Oh,
which will definitely make things interesting. And then also Johnny Morton has had Jahmyr Gibbs lining up at receiver some more. So there's more potential for him in the passing game too, which I was saying we should have done all last year. So yeah, I think his numbers go up across the board really. The only thing that you would really have to worry about is obviously goal line. David Montgomery could kind of sink into a not strictly goal line back, but more of a goal line back than he was prior.
Okay. Interesting takes, and I'm looking forward to
just real quick. And this we'll recycle this on the team preview, but the who's who of who Johnny Morton has coached for includes Jim Harbaugh, Sean Payton, Pete Carroll, John Gruden.
Oh, that's a hell of a coaching trip.
Todd Bowles and Dan Campbell.
Imagine knowing John Gruden. Would you say Harbaugh in there?
Jim Harbaugh. The best part is Jim Harbaugh at University of San Diego.
And Dan Campbell. Man, that guy must have some stories.
Well, it's Sean Payton back with the Saints and with the Broncos. He was involved in a little Bo Nix activities. Pete Carroll at USC.
All right, Kramer, let's close things out. First lock of the season for the Hall of Fame game. What are we calling the number? Cause I'm seeing, it feels like it's 2.5 most places now.
Really? I just plucked that number out. I mean, right now I'm looking at the green book and the blue book, both 1.5.
I'm looking at my bookie. It's,
okay.
It's 2.5.
You know what? Whatever number you want, Sean.
Well, I just some consensus.
Whatever.
Here.
It doesn't matter. Now let me ask you this: you taking the money line on the Chargers?
No.
You taking the points?
Chargers plus 2.5. 2.5.
The game will end as a tie, right? And
games can end as ties. 1 point, 2 point. 2 is kind of a key number in these. 2.5 points does matter in preseason.
Really?
My lock is the Chargers plus 2.5 points over on mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN. I also do like the now my bookie has the total at 33. I will happily get on the over on that as well. Still, Kramer, what are you doing?
My lock will be first quarter Chargers minus 104.
Wow, first quarter Chargers money line.
Yeah, it's a money line bet minus 104.
Okay,
how you could possibly have this go either way?
What do you mean?
Like this creates some assumption that the Lions will receive the opening kickoff, and because they're minus 128.
Oh,
yeah,
that
so,
they're the favorite.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, how can either team?
In your mind, basically, no one should be a favorite.
Both teams will. They're going to do the same thing on the kickoff.
Yeah,
I would imagine. And if anything, I think the chance that the Chargers have real starters out there to start the game is like the Lions 0%. Like, we might get Hampton for 5 snaps. You know, we might get some guys that are at least fringe NFL starters. And so yeah, I'll take a stab at the how is this not like minus whatever you're gonna make it each way? Minus 104. Give me the Chargers.
Kramer, and expect a lot of talk about the modification to the new kicking rule.
Last thing I wanted to bring up,
which again favors the over, right? It has to have some. I mean, again, it's a 1-game sample, but I do think when we get into these games, when they adjusted the kickoff rule last year, I think it was a slight bump to the overs. I think it's going to help again, probably because they're changing the dead ball spot after a touchback to the 35-yard line. If the ball lands in the end zone, is down. So basically, they're trying to do everything they can to encourage you to make it a returnable kick, which is really hard to do, to get it like down right at the 1 or a 2. But then if they're returning it, that's going to be helpful. The people who can't figure it out, the touchback, you're getting at the 35 now instead of the 30.
I'd imagine that they're probably going to experiment more this year, because the data last year was like pretty clear. Okay, we're just going to keep blasting it into the end zone. But at 35 yards,
I
think they're going to try. I think everyone's going to try to kick it right to like the goal line.
Yeah,
and this is when you practice doing it.
It's a tough kick to handle.
So, which begs the question: should we sprinkle both teams? Basically, first score to be a safety. It's 100 to 1.
Wait, who's offering first score to be a safety?
FanDuel.
Oh my God.
It's a market where it's touchdown, field goal, safety for each team. So if you take safety for each team, it's 100 to 1 both ways. So it's a 50 to 1 proposition.
Nah, I can't.
It's too short.
I can't.
Yeah, it's too short.
I'll save it for
too short.
Braylon Allen most rushing touchdowns in the AFC East. Good times, Kramer. So your lock. Do you have? Now I have to fill the sheet out. You didn't say your side or total.
I like the Chargers.
Oh, you like them at 2.5? Okay.
I'll take the Chargers at 2.5 or 1.5.
Okay.
I agree with you. I'm taking the points over the money line just in case. I like I said, I like the Chargers minus 104 first quarter.
That's your lock.
That's my lock. I also like the Chargers plus 1.5 minus 150 in the first half. If you wanted to play that, or alternatively, the better play for me, under 17.5 first half.
Oh, okay.
I honestly think they just the intern in charge of the derivative numbers hasn't updated the number. If it's 32.5, this should be 16.5 in my book.
Yeah. If anything, the scoring in the second half.
Right. The second half is when the weird stuff happens.
Yeah.
In these games. So I'm taking the first half under, not the full game under.
Well, that's when the backups, the real deep backups, are on defense, and that's where we're going to see some scoring. Oh man.
And lastly, and reiterating, Trey Lance, Hendon Hooker, both rushing yards.
And you're on the under 32.5 or 33.
If you're forcing me to make it,
I'm filling out the sheet, Ryan. You created the sheet. I would fill it out.
Sure. Officially, I guess I can be on the under.
Okay, we give out picks here. Do you want to give out any leans?
I just gave out so many picks. So many picks.
We've been giving out.
Some would say too many picks.
We've been giving out a ton of
first
picks.
Quarter, halftime, full game, under.
Smash it. Good times. Football is officially back. Big thanks to Easy. Easy, toss out your handle where people can find you. He's in the Discord, always chopping it up. Great info. Great guy to bounce stuff off of. Very insightful. And let people know what's your handle, where you at.
Be Easy Bets on Twitter or X or whatever the hell it is now. Also, I do have a YouTube channel, Easy Betting Show. I'm starting back up. So yeah, next couple days will be my newest video and going from there. So feel free to hit the button on that one to help me out.
Smash the subscribe button. Easy, of course.
You know I'm a
True DGen. Cannot wait. Football is back. And Kramer, what team previews do we have for tomorrow?
Well, we have.
Oh, it's gonna be good.
We have a two passionate cities. We have the Patriots, and we have the Steelers.
Oh, one team I'll be on, one team I'll be fading. Tune in. You're not going to want to miss it. And of course, as always,
thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
For Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, second the money green. He's Ryan.
Football is back, Sean.
Kramer, let it ride.